Hello, Vroom Force. Once again, this is Captain Vroom reporting for duty, and today I'm going to be talking about Captain Marvel number 13. But before I do, I just want to say a couple things. Once again, thank you for everybody that participated in the charity event where Little Frugal and I were gaming for Toys for Tots. It was quite successful. We should be picking up the toys today and delivering them to a local center, which I've already talked to the people in the region that are in charge, so that way we made sure we got the kinds of toys and things that they need the most. We are getting $100 in toys and 100 Alterna all ages comic books, geared more probably towards the younger than the older, but we want to get some of the older too to fit that 13 and above age. Okay, so with that said, also, if you like these videos, please be sure to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Make sure you put on the notifications for all, not just none or seldom, because I guess those are choices now too. If you want to really help out this channel and help support us, we really appreciate it. One of the best ways is just leave a comment down below. And if you find yourself in a good financial position, you can even contribute to our Patreon or even a subscribe star or a one-time donation through our Streamlabs. Okay, now that the shill is done, let's jump into Captain Marvel number 13, The Last Avenger, Part 2. If you read Part 1, you'll find that Carol, for some reason, is going after the Avengers, and in that issue she took out Thor, and it ends with her leaving at the very end of the issue and having Thor's head, pretty much, literally Thor's head. But in this issue we get a little more clarification of how they wiggled their way out of that. So right off the bat, I look at the cover, and you know what, the cover's not too bad. The cover's pretty interesting. You can definitely see that Carol is really pissed off, or looks that way. Looks like she's had a lot of battle damage, so she's been in a brutal fight, or actually looks like she's in a fight. It's a good action pose, makes me interested. So hey, you know what? I'll give the cover a thumbs up to that. The writer of this issue is Kelly Thompson, artist Lee Garbett, which I probably just mispronounced. The color artist Tamara Bonvillain. Yes, the name fits, Bonvillain, because, yeah. And I will say that coloring is nothing special in this issue either. And then the letter, we got that, you can see all the stuff there for who is involved in this. Anyway, so let's look, part 2 here. Born to a Kree mother and a human father, because we had to retcon her origin, because, you know, we can't keep a character straight because we have to manipulate them all the time to try to make them something they aren't. Former U.S. Air Force pilot Carol Danvers became a superhero when a Kree device activated her latent powers. Since then, she's become an Avenger and Earth's mightiest hero. Just for the record, before you jump on the I hate Captain Marvel train, because I'm a sexist or whatever, when you're getting pissed at this video, just remember, maybe check some of my previous videos. You're going to find out I'm a longtime Captain Marvel fan, right from Volume 1. I really enjoyed Volume 2. Do I like what they've been doing with the character over the last few years? Absolutely not. I don't like the direction of the movie either. It just seems like they're making the character what she's not. What made her fantastic, she was a good, powerful character with flaws. And she was just interesting. She was different, and unfortunately they went away from that and tried to shove her in this new image, which isn't great. And matter of fact, I even still like her new uniform, especially if she's actually drawn like a woman rather than a very skinny man with short hair. So anyway, let's go back here now to what she is now. But that was before she murdered Thor and presented his decapitated head to Vox Supreme. Yes, Vox Supreme is going to be the villain here that we're going to be dealing with. A mutated Kree who's recently wiped out almost the entire human race. Vox Supreme has given Carol 24 hours to kill the core Avengers, and she's got 5 left to go. So last issue, as you said, she had Thor's head, and we take off here where she instantly is attacking Tony Stark as his poor guy was just trying to brush his teeth. She knocks him right through several walls, but Tony Stark was smart enough to use his powers to have his Iron Man armor coming onto him at that time to keep him alive, I guess, at this point. And so Tony realizes, he tries to talk to her, and, because that's what heroes do, right? They talk when somebody's attacking them. When they're their friend, they realize that. But anyway, she knocks him to outer space pretty much, and with him he says, activate protocol. And why? She says, not today. And here's where this story really jumps the shark. She breaks his windpipe, broken windpipe, so he can't speak. Now bear with me here. Then she rips his armor off, and you see him pretty much floating out into space. And now all this time Carol doesn't want to be doing this. She's doing that because of the Vox situation here, and they're going to get a little bit into that in this issue of why she's doing that. But my point I really want to make is she broke his windpipe. Then he's in outer space in his pajamas. This guy would be dead. I mean, I understand in for a penny, in for a pound with comic books, but he then disappears, and then we see that T-minus 14 hours, and you see that Thor's actually alive. And what it is she's sort of putting these heroes in the Avengers in a pocket dimension, if you will. Sweetest pocket dimension you'll ever be trapped in, by the way. Okay. So anyway, they're trapped in there. Why? Is because they're hidden from, so this Vox guy can't see them. Vox Supreme is unable to see them here and know that she's really saving them. But notice here, I want to point that Tony Stark is perfectly fine. He just had his windpipe broken. It was in outer space in his pajamas. This guy would be a human dead popsicle, let alone crushed his windpipe. Hello? Where is the editing here? Where is the thought behind that in this issue? I mean, she could have whispered something, say, hey, pretend this. No, she broke his windpipe. I mean, you could see it on his face there. You hear the crack, and then we see him floating in space. Hello? Has Marvel not, editors and writers know nothing about science? But, this is funny because these are people who go, oh, you people that are conservative ignore science. No, we don't. We don't ignore science. We appreciate facts. Wow. So anyway, we get past that unbelievable part there, and we get a little bit of backstory about how she was captured by this Vox Supreme and why she's doing what she's doing. And the reason is pretty much if she doesn't, he's wiping out whole groups of people. So she has to do what he says in order to not have that happen and to save those unfortunate people there. So, okay. So overall, the story it's an okay story. As I said, the unbelievableness of crushing a man's windpipe and knocking him in space in his pajamas, and he's still alive and perfectly fine and standing there. He does have his hand around his neck, but I'm sorry, you crushed your windpipe. Your windpipe just doesn't get better. Okay? It doesn't just get better. The artwork is okay. It's serviceable. Nothing terrible. Nothing great. That's really probably how I feel about this issue. This issue isn't necessarily terrible, but it's really not great either. I don't know. I like the fact it has the Avengers. It ties her into characters, and when it mentions a tie-in her with her and Tony, even though all the bad stuff they've been through, they actually do care about each other. It links back to how they sponsor each other with their alcoholism, which I think that part was a really nice touch. That's something that I liked a lot about this issue. But as I said, the other oversights, how you could go from having such a good insight on that in the character and then having her break a guy's windpipe in space and leave him in space for a moment with his pajamas is just ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous. So I'm gonna give this issue C minus D plus area. If you're not reading Captain Marvel, this isn't a jump on point in any way whatsoever. If you're reading it, I don't see this as a reason to jump off necessarily. But once again, Captain Marvel is just something that could be so much more, that once again chokes the windpipes of all of us wondering why can't Marvel do something decent with this character. Well, at least they're drawing her like a woman. I guess we can give her that. Alright, until next time, keep it cool.